Hi, everyone. This is the back to school presentation for Miss Nguyen in anatomy physiology. So, anyways, a little bit about my background. I'm local, I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been teaching for a while. This is my 10th year teaching, but this is my second year teaching anatomy because I started the class last year. And hopefully, it'll be a lot smoother this year because I had the whole summer to work on trying to figure out a method for learning this year in the digital space, but I think will be better for my students. So, just a heads up. So, anyways, anatomy, these are my current topics for the first semester. First semester is a little bit learning the basics, and then the second semester is when we learn uh, the more famous body systems like muscular skeletal body system, cardiovascular, respiratory systems, all that fun stuff. There's a little bit of that first semester, but there's a lot more of it second semester. And we will be learning about COVID. I'm sorry for the facts, the random COVID facts you may be exposed to next semester. So, anyways, our class grades are, or our class grade breakdown is spread into 10% work habits, 50% classwork, which is done through what I call choice boards, which I'll explain in a little bit, and 40% summative assessment. Summative assessments are tests and projects used to assess student understanding. And then the work habits is just organization of the work they've done. And then classwork is the way students are learning the material and practicing the material. In terms of the big policy for our class, late work, students have a 20% penalty. If they are excused absence, please call it in and they'll get a week to make up the work without a late penalty. Revisions are limited to the tests. They don't have revisions for other stuff. Maybe work habits, but not much beyond that. In terms of the choice board assignments, there's a special policy for late work and making up work with the choice board. But basically, it amounts to they will have a penalty if their work is late, but they can always get the points back by doing an additional assignment. And I'll go over what choice boards are in a bit. Now, in terms of our class, our typical unit involves meeting in person on Friday, and we meet in person in about some of the Tuesdays, about half of the Tuesdays we meet up as a class. The reason why is because I do think students shouldn't be in front of the computer all day, but I do want to make sure students know what to expect and what to do for the day. So that's why I have that balance. On asynchronous days where we're not doing a live Zoom lesson, I do ask the students turn in a attendance survey before 3. It's a survey that usually takes them a few minutes at most. Now, in terms of a typical unit, I have students work on classwork at the beginning of the unit, and towards the end of the unit is when I release assessments that they work on in order to demonstrate their understanding. In terms of classwork, students are expected to work during class time, and then they will have about 30 minutes to an hour of additional homework after class hours. And that should be focused classwork time. If they're spending more time than that, then they're probably doing things in an inefficient way. For example, I have students taking notes, and some of them took 3 hours on the same notes that someone else took 20 minutes on. So I do offer workshops for students if they're struggling with note taking, because I want to make sure that they're efficient at their work, because that's going to be what is more advantageous to them in college, knowing how to do work in the most effective and efficient way possible. Okay, so I mentioned choice boards a few times. So what are choice boards? So I spent the summer working with another teacher named Miss Nguyen, and we basically spent all summer recording as many lectures as possible and doing as many assignment and projects and setups as possible. And basically, we came up with a huge lecture list, but in addition to that, a choice board. So a choice board basically allows personalized learning opportunities for your student each unit. So each unit, students are given this huge grid of different assignments they can do in order to learn the material. And they can pick and choose different assignments, though some are required. Those are the ones in pink, but the rest are additional. And they have to do 2 assignments each day, and they're given a set time to complete a set amount of points. Most of the assignments are worth 10 points. What that means is students, so for example, in this last unit, students had 4 weeks to complete 200 points off of this choice board. Now, students needed to submit 2 assignments each day, but I post all the points for this one unit as one grade on SIS. So just a heads up, the SIS grade may lag because I'm waiting till the unit is completed before I add up all their grades and post it. So they'll only get one big post for the work that they did for a month. However, you can see if they are making progress on their work on Canvas because they are required to submit 2 assignments per day on Canvas. Now, I found that students really like this because it allows them to personalize their learning. Not all students jive with it. If a student is struggling, I do offer them the ability to meet with me and come up with a game plan. So instead of picking their own work, if they're a little overwhelmed with choices, I'll tell them exactly which assignments to do on which day so that they can better focus on what work they have to get done. However, a lot of students liked it because they got to pick the assignments that they thought were better for them on a given day, help them practice some material that they felt that they needed more work on, and pick assignments that were more time intensive for days that they had more free time and less time intensive for days where they were a little overloaded in other classes. And I want to do this choice board because it really allows differentiation for the types of students I have, because ultimately a lot of my students, a lot of them are interested in working in a health field. However, the backgrounds of the students that come into my class are hugely varied. Some of them have advanced knowledge, while a lot of them do not, but they still need to kind of arrive to the same place by the end of the unit. So what I do is I want to give them as many assignments as possible for them to learn the basics of anatomy and physiology. But if they already got that information down, then they can use the choice board instead to explore real life concepts and real life consequences instead. So that's kind of why, or study more advanced concepts instead. So that's why we have this choice board structure. Now, I also have students organize all the material into a single folder. So if you ever want to, ask your student to look at their portfolio, because you can see if they are doing work or if they're not doing work or if it's disorganized. All right, so the big thing is I want students to be proactive in their learning, and I'm hoping the choice board helps them become more proactive in identifying what they need in order to learn the material, because by the time they reach college, they need to decide and pick and choose how they learn the material in college. So I want them to become more independent learners. But if they are struggling, have them take advantage of office hours. I have done a lot of individual meetings to help students come up with a game plan for learning. All right, so thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to getting to know your student more throughout the year. And I apologize for some of you because next week we're doing some assessments that involve bananas for some kids. They can also pick a cleaner, creative writing assignment instead, but some of them are picking the banana autopsy. So your kid's gonna get a little weird about dicing up bananas next week. All right, thanks for watching and have a good day. Bye.